My name is Sara. I am 24 years old. I live in a busy city where people are always watching, always talking. Every street has noise, every home has stories, and every person has opinions about others. I work in a small office and live with my parents. From the outside, my life looks normal and calm. I smile, I dress neatly, and I do my work quietly. But inside my heart, I carry a truth that I never say loudly. I am still a virgin. For many people, this word feels heavy. Some people laugh at it. Some people judge it. Some people think it means fear or weakness. In my city, if a woman is not married at my age, people begin to ask questions. They look at you with strange eyes. They speak softly behind your back. Sometimes they speak loudly, without shame. At family gatherings, aunties smile at me and ask, "So, when is your turn?" I smile back and say, "Soon, maybe." They nod, but I can see their thoughts. At my office, my coworkers talk freely about love and relationships. During lunch break, they sit together and share stories. Some stories are funny, some are sad, some are too personal for me. They laugh and tease each other. Sometimes they look at me and ask questions. "Sara, do you have a boyfriend?" "No," I answer calmly. "Never." I shake my head and smile. They laugh gently, but I feel the weight in my chest. Not because I am ashamed, but because I am tired of explaining my silence. I did not stay a virgin because I am weak. I stayed because I waited. I wanted trust. I wanted respect. I wanted safety. At night, after dinner, I sit alone in my room. My room is small but clean. I open my window and look outside. The street lights glow softly. Cars pass by slowly. Sometimes children laugh outside. Sometimes everything is quiet. These moments help me think. I think about my life. I think about my choices. Sometimes I feel lonely. I will not lie. There are nights when my heart feels empty. I see couples walking together. I hear love songs on the radio. I wonder how it feels to be held by someone who truly cares. But even in loneliness, I feel strong. I know I did not give myself to someone who did not deserve me. My mother understands me more than anyone else. One night, she sat beside me and held my hand. She looked into my eyes and said, "Being pure is not shame. It is a choice. Never let anyone make you feel small for your choices." Her words became a quiet light inside me. Whenever I feel confused, I remember her voice. One Monday morning, something changed. A new employee joined our office. His name was Adam. He was not loud or proud. He was calm. He spoke politely. He listened carefully. When people talked, he did not interrupt. When he smiled, it felt real. At first, we only said hello. Then we started sharing small conversations. He asked me about my work. He asked about my favorite books. No one ever asked me that before. Most people only talked about themselves. When Adam talked to me, he looked at my face, not my body. That made me feel safe. Safe in a way I never felt before. During lunch breaks, we sometimes sat together. We talked about dreams, about childhood memories, about simple things like tea and rain. I noticed something important. He never judged. He never pushed. He never made me uncomfortable. One evening, as I walked home, I realized something. For the first time, I did not feel like I needed to hide who I was. I felt normal. I felt respected. That night, I sat by my window again. But this time, my heart felt lighter. I smiled to myself. Maybe my story was not sad. Maybe it was just different. I am still a virgin. Not because I had no chances. Not because I was afraid. Because I chose myself. And for the first time, I believe that this choice made me strong, not broken. The days after meeting Adam felt different to me. My mornings became lighter. I woke up with a small smile, even before the alarm rang. At the office, I noticed little things more clearly, the sound of typing, the smell of tea, the sunlight coming through the windows. My life was the same, but my heart felt calmer. Adam and I started talking every day. Not long talks, just simple ones. He asked how my day was. He listened when I answered. When I spoke, he did not rush me. This made me feel important in a quiet way. During lunch breaks, my coworkers still talked loudly about their relationships. They joked, laughed, and sometimes complained. I sat with them, but I did not feel the same pressure as before. Something inside me had changed. I no longer felt the need to explain myself. One afternoon, Adam noticed that I stayed quiet. When the others left, he asked gently, "Do these talks bother you?" I looked at him, surprised by his care. I paused for a moment and then said, "I just live differently." He nodded slowly and smiled. "Different does not mean wrong," he said. His words stayed with me all day. As weeks passed, our conversations grew deeper. We talked about dreams for the future. I told him I wanted peace more than anything. A peaceful home, a peaceful heart. He said he wanted honesty and respect in his life. When he said that, I felt a strange warmth inside my chest. One evening, after work, the sky was soft and pink. Adam asked if we could walk for a few minutes before going home. I agreed. The street was quiet. The air felt cool and calm. We walked side by side, not too close, not too far. There was no pressure, only comfort. Suddenly, he stopped walking. He turned to me and said, "Sara, I want to be honest with you. I respect you a lot." My heart began to beat faster. I felt nervous, but not scared. "I respect you too," I said. There was a short silence. Then I took a deep breath. I knew this moment was important. I did not want to hide anymore. "There is something about me you should know," I said softly. He waited. He did not interrupt. "I am still a virgin," I said. Not because I had no chances, but because I waited for respect. I looked down at my hands. My fingers were shaking. For a moment, I was afraid. Afraid of judgment. Afraid of silence. But Adam did not laugh. He did not look surprised. He did not step back. He spoke calmly, "Thank you for trusting me with something so personal." I looked up at him. "That does not make you weak," he continued. "It shows strength. You knew your value." Tears filled my eyes. I felt something heavy lift from my chest. For years, I carried fear that my truth would push people away. But in that moment, my truth brought me peace. I was scared to say it, I admitted. "I understand," he said gently. "But you should never be ashamed of who you are." We continued walking, but the silence felt different now. It felt warm, not awkward. That night, when I reached home, I sat in my room and thought deeply. I realized something important. My virginity was not a burden. It was not a secret to hide. It was simply part of my story. I remembered my mother's words again, being pure is a choice. For the first time, I truly understood them. The next days, I felt more confident. I spoke more clearly. I walked with my head high. Even when people asked questions, their words no longer hurt me. I knew my worth. Adam never pushed me. He never asked for more than conversation. His respect made me feel safe. Safe enough to be myself. I learned that love does not rush. Love waits. Love understands. I am still a virgin. Not because I am afraid of love, but because I respect myself. And now, I know something even stronger. The right person will never ask you to change your values. They will protect them. For the first time in my life, I felt proud of my choice. And I felt ready for whatever future waits for me. Life slowly began to feel more balanced after that evening walk. I did not rush anything. I did not promise anything. I simply allowed myself to feel calm. Each day, I learned more about myself, and that felt like a quiet victory. At the office, Adam and I continued working as usual. We did not change our behavior in front of others. There was no drama, no secret smiles, no rumors. Just respect. That alone made our connection feel special. I realized that real connection does not need noise. One afternoon, my coworkers again started talking about relationships. One of them joked loudly, "At our age, love should be fast, not slow." Everyone laughed. I smiled softly but said nothing. Inside, I felt steady. Their words no longer shook me. I finally understood that everyone walks a different path. Comparing paths only creates pain. That evening, my mother noticed something different about me. While we prepared dinner together, she looked at me and said, "You seem peaceful." "I feel peaceful," I replied honestly. She smiled and nodded, as if she already knew why. She did not ask questions. She trusted me. That trust warmed my heart. A few days later, Adam and I sat together during lunch. The room was quiet. Sunlight touched the table between us. He spoke carefully, as if choosing his words with care. "Sara," he said, "I want you to know something. I do not expect anything from you. I respect your pace." Those words meant more to me than any promise. Many people talk about love, but few talk about patience. "Thank you," I said. "That means a lot to me." We talked about the future in gentle ways. Not about marriage or big plans, but about the kind of life we wanted. A life with honesty. A life without pressure. A life where silence feels safe. That night, I lay in my bed and stared at the ceiling. I thought about how far I had come. I remembered the fear I once carried. The fear of being judged. The fear of being left behind. Slowly, that fear had faded. I realized something important. Virginity is not a label. It is not a rule written by society. It is simply a personal boundary. And boundaries deserve respect. One weekend, I went for a long walk alone. I watched families, children, couples, old people holding hands. Everyone had a story. Everyone had pain and joy mixed together. No one's life was perfect. That thought comforted me. I sat on a bench and closed my eyes. I took a deep breath and felt grateful. Grateful for my choices. Grateful for my strength. Grateful for learning that waiting does not mean missing out. Sometimes, waiting means protecting your heart. When Monday came again, I felt ready for whatever the day would bring. At work, Adam greeted me with his calm smile. Nothing had changed, yet everything had changed inside me. I no longer defined myself by what I had not done. I defined myself by what I stood for. Later that day, a young coworker asked me quietly, "Does it ever feel hard to wait?" I looked at her and answered honestly, "Yes. But it feels harder to lose yourself." She nodded slowly, as if understanding something new. That moment made me realize my story might help others, even without words. Just by being confident, just by standing firm, I could show that choice is power. As the days passed, I felt more connected to myself than ever before. Whether Adam stayed in my life forever or not, I knew one thing clearly. I would never regret choosing respect over pressure. I am still a virgin. Not because time forgot me, but because I honored myself. And now, when I look ahead, I am not afraid. I know that love, when it comes, will come gently. It will not rush me. It will not demand proof. It will meet me where I am. My journey is not late. It is simply mine.